Hello, I'm Dr. Alexander Haskell, the Clinic Director of Oasis of Holistic Health, and I'd like to review some important information about how we can understand the underlying causes for why we have symptoms, whether they're physical symptoms or mental symptoms. Because when we present to our physician our concerns and issues, often our more traditional medical system will, if they can't find anything that's unusual about labs or findings or whatever, they'll often have maybe that it might be genetic in your case, it might just be kind of a part of the aging process, and maybe also stress could be contributing to your symptoms, but no real investigation of what these causes for the person's symptoms might be. So let's look at some obvious causes for the reasons why we develop our symptoms. So one is nutritional deficiencies. Our cells are not getting the nutrients they need to function optimally. Environmental toxins, which get into the body and cause disruption and disturbance of cellular function. There can be low-grade systemic silent infections, bacterial and sometimes mold and viruses, and then low thyroid hormones. So nutritional deficiencies happen primarily because we're not consuming nutrient-dense, rich foods that are high in various, a wide spectrum of nutrients. And then our ability to digest these foods is compromised. This can be due to stress, primarily when the stomach is not secreting the primary enzyme hydrochloric acid to break down proteins and various nutrients. And then there's overgrowth of small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, fungus, parasites that exist in the intestines, and the lining of the intestines can be, let's say, inflamed so that we are not able to assimilate the nutrients from our food very efficiently. Toxins are in our environment, the air we breathe, the water we drink, the chemicals that we use in the home. Our food is often laden with various chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, and anything that we put on our skin is going to be absorbed into the body. So low-grade silent infections was the second underlying cause. Bacteria can get into the system, the blood from puncture wounds, surgeries, issues with the teeth such as root canals and what are called cavitations. Mold, even in dry climates, mold can be an issue because of water leaks, etc. These mold species have mycotoxins in the air, like pollen comes from flowers, mycotoxins come from mold. These are absorbed into our air passageways, into the sinuses, get into the lungs, and then go systemic into the bloodstream. And here's an example of what can be seen under a dark field microscope. There's just one type of mold. There's many ways that mold presents in the blood. Low thyroid hormones, of course, let's say the metabolic rate of our cells, the activity of our cells is determined by a number of factors, but thyroid hormones certainly play an important role. And if they get low, then we experience all the symptoms related to low metabolic rate. So remember, we're talking about cellular function here with these four different underlying causes. We're made of 50 trillion cells, and basically it's the optimal function of all our cells which we experience as vitality and health. And the mitochondria, which produce energy, these drive the function of whatever cell they're found in. And some cells have hundreds, others have thousands of mitochondria in a single cell. Those more active organs of the body, the brain, the heart, liver, have really high numbers of mitochondria. So if the cell or the mitochondria are not getting the nutrients they need, then there's a decline in the mitochondrial function, energy production goes down, and therefore we experience symptoms. Both environmental toxins from our environment and also the biotoxins produced by bacteria, the mycotoxins produced by mold. These toxins are often sequestered or compartmentalized inside our cells and lead to a decline in mitochondrial function. And then we have the decline in thyroid hormone production as being the fourth underlying cause. And all these in combination, most people have a combination of all four, but some, maybe one or two, might be the most important thing to address. That's a nice overview of kind of an alternative perspective of how we develop symptoms. And we'll cover a lot more details in other videos. Thank you.